erase this part and this part, come back over here and check off what we did.
Okay.
Okay?
This part too, right?
Mm-hmm. All right, so what do you want? You want to start with vowels? Oh, sorry, before we start that, go ahead and check off what did we do already. We did a lot in the last 45 minutes or so. So I'm going to do this already because we're going to be done with the book. We did this, we did that. So check, collect, spit book. I'm going to collect it in just a few minutes from you. And then we didn't do this because I'm going to cover it down here. And all these pieces right here, I'm going to cover down here. I'm going to move, not new story. Actually, we reread parts of spit. So we kind of did this. And then now we're going to do, we did this, a summary of spit. And then we did some vocabulary work with spit and with maple syrup. And now we're going to talk about vowels. All right?
So, we're done with all of this?
The last thing we have to do is probably do, we're going to do maybe one story and then do a graphic organizer for that story, just because of time. But, or maybe we'll read all the stories and see what happens. So I want you again, and this time what I want you to do is put these columns up, and then you're gonna put the word up. So go ahead and put these. So this, what is this?
What?
Cube. So
can we read both of the stories, and I can choose which one I like the best, so that we can do a graphic organizer?
Sure.
How many?
Yesterday we had, well, you can make 4 columns, and then we're going to split those columns again. Yep, there you go. So cube. Mm-hmm. Put it where it's going to go. Cube.
Split it?
Yep. Gum. Nice. Put your picture down. Clock.
Clock.
There you go. Rose. Oops. I. And that's going to be your long what?
Long.
Nope. Not E. Because the opposite of that's I, and this is chin. This is what?
E. I.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right, here we go.
The chin. What about this one?
I think that's it. I think we did one too many columns, so that's okay. All right. Here's one word. Ready?
Bed.
And you're gonna say it. You're gonna see it. Then you're gonna say it. And you're gonna spell it. I'm gonna spell it before you, so you spell it correctly. And chin.
Oh yeah.
There's no silent D in it. Brick.
Brick.
B-R-I-C-K. Now you spell it.
B-R-I-C-K.
Spell it. I'm gonna put it up here. Brick. Where does it go? Long I or short I?
Did you just tell me the answer?
I know. That's okay. Here's another one.
How do you spell brick?
Sit. How did I spell it? B-R-I. Brick.
B-R-I-C-K.
Yep. All right. What is this? See it?
Peluca.
And in English is?
Wig.
Wig. Here, put it where you think it goes. Wig. What does it sound like? Nice.
How do you spell it?
W-I-G. Now you spell it. W-I-G.
W-I-G.
All right. Map. 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 M-O-P. Map. Map. Nice. Truck. Truck. You see it? Truck. T-R-U-C-K. Where would you put that? Truck. T-R-U-C-K. Truck. Truck. What do you hear there? Yep, but how do you spell it? What is it? Truck.
Oh.
What do you hear?
R.
Very good. All right. Rock. R-O-C-K.
R-O-C-K.
All right. Oops. Kite. Kite. Nice work. And I didn't even have to spell it for you. Let's see. Bowl. Bowl. A bowl like where you eat cereal? Bowl. B-O-W. Where do you think of a bowl? Bowl. What sound does it have?
Oh.
Bowl. Bowl. B-O-W-L. Bowl. Gum. Bowl.
Oh. Oh, I didn't see that.
Bowl. Oh, bowl. Nice.
I keep on hearing bowl
Bowl.
for some reason.
Let me see. Trying to find another example. I have some. Brush.
Brush.
Brush. B-R-U-S-H. Brush.
W-S-H.
Brush. Where do you think it goes? I'm just gonna put it here. B-R. Brush. S-H. Okay. Let's see. I'll give you one more. Music. M-U-S-I-C. Music. Mule. M-U-L-E. Mule.
M-U-L? Oh!
Mule. M-U-L-E. Mule. Nice. And I'm going to give you another one. Cone. Cone.
Oh.
Cone. C-O-N-E. Cone. Silent D. After the N. Nice work. You know what? And all of those are all correct. What did you do differently today that you haven't done before?
I studied.
You did? Okay. How did you study them?
Well, I didn't study the whole words, but I remember some of these, like cube, gum, clock. I didn't remember that one.
The wig?
And I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I just studied these.
Okay. The sound?
But I didn't know this was an I. I thought
A long
this,
I.
I didn't really
You thought it
study
was
this one right.
That's okay.
But I didn't study the sound.
But you figured it out though, because kite, I, you know. Good job. I am really proud of you. So what's going to happen is after tomorrow, you're going to be able to take these home and then study them some more, and then it'll help you in your reading this year. Okay? So then, we're going to, how about you collect those? And then we're going to do, We're going to stop there and then do about 10 minutes of your reading and then do a graphic organizer on the board together or talk through it. So go ahead and erase that. Check that off. You have a couple.
My mom?
Huh?
You texted my mom?
No, she'll be here. That's okay, because last time she kind of waited a little bit, and that's okay. Yeah, she didn't mind that. At least she didn't tell me she didn't like it. So, all right. So here we go. So yesterday we read the story. We read from the Slacker. So today, and we knew that this is kind of like a series. So today we're going to read a new story, and you have a choice of which story. We already read The Snowstorm, so you either have The Crisis or Lost and Found.
What does crisis mean?
Crisis. Something that they need help with. Like they have a big problem.
Lost and found.
Okay, and then Lost and Found, you know what Lost and Found means. Okay, so what kind of strategies as a reader can we use as we're reading the Lost and Found?
Summarize it,
Mm-hmm.
ask questions,
Mm-hmm.
infer.
Okay. So what can you infer from looking at these pictures?
That,
Or not infer, what can you predict from looking at these pictures? Because I'll ask you some questions that you can infer later.
that he might be looking at outside.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
So you're predicting that he's looking outside. Why do you think he's looking outside?
He might be looking for something.
Okay. All right.
And he probably found what he was looking for.
Okay.
You're probably gonna go get it.
Okay. And then we'll go from there. And actually, you might have time for another one, and then you can choose. So all summer, Mr. Slacker sat on the porch and thought about mowing the lawn. While he thought about it, the grass grew. Do you think the grass grew because he just thought about it? Why do you think?
Because it just grows.
Okay. One morning, Quentin Slacker walked out into the yard and disappeared. "My baby!" cried Mrs. Slacker. "Oh, don't worry," Mr. Slacker told her. "He'll come out the other side." But he did not come out the other side. Quentin Slacker had vanished. "Do something," Mrs. Slacker told her husband. Mr. Slacker sighed. Time passed. "Do something more than just sighing," Mrs. Slacker insisted. This time, Mr. Slacker sighed and did something. He walked down the porch steps and out into the lawn. He disappeared in the tall grass. He didn't come out the other side either. Luckily, the lovely Mrs. Slacker was very good at handling emergencies. She sat down to think. What do you think that Mrs. Slacker thought about?
Where he might be.
Where he might be. Where do you think he might be?
In the grass.
Okay. And what makes you think? What tells you, or what makes you think from what you read in the text that he might be in the grass?
Well, I saw the picture.
Okay. The
and
picture.
It had green.
Okay.
I mean red.
Okay. Good. So let's see. So a few hours later, she had a wonderful idea. "Search and rescue. You search," she told Slug, "and then I'll rescue." But Slug was too busy dreaming a wonderful dream about dancing hot dogs. Clearly, Mrs. Slacker had to get help. She picked up the phone. "My husband and my son are missing," she said, "and I need my afternoon nap." "I certainly hope someone finds him," Mrs. Slacker said as she drifted off to sleep. Do you think that was important to her?
No.
That her kids or even her husband was important to her?
No.
Wow. And indeed, they did. Do you think that that's how the story was going to end? So what did they do?
They went to the grass and then they just like, how do you call it? They got like.
They kind of mowed around that hole, and so they found a nice what?
Comfortable space.
A nice comfortable space to just relax. Okay. Now, let's read one more, and then you can decide which one you actually want to do a graphic organizer on for your story, Matt. So we're going to read The Crisis, which is the last story here. On one rainy Sunday, a terrible thing happened in Slacker's house. They lost the TV's remote control. For a time, the family watched the screen anyway, but that was not amusing for very long. Go ahead and keep reading.
Thank you. Said Mrs. Slacker. Is that Mr.?
It's Mr. Crust.
Mr. Slacker. "What now?" Maybe we could look for the remote so we can turn the TV on. Mrs. Slacker
Suggested.
suggested
Mm-hmm.
shyly. Brilliant idea, my love, said Mr. Slacker. Let's look just in this room, said Quentin.
Try that again.
Quentin.
Very good.
Quentin. We wouldn't want to miss our favorite shows. That made sense.
How would you read that sentence that says, we wouldn't want to miss our favorite shows?
We wouldn't want to miss our favorite shows.
Nice intonation. Okay.
They searched everywhere, but they only found a few dust bunnies.
Good. Try it again. Like, do it all together.
But they only found a few dust bunnies. And Mr. Slacker's super duper memory Twager.
Twanger. Mm-hmm.
It helped him remember things. I forgot that I had lost it, he said. Violet was thinking hard. I think people used to get up and push buttons on the TV, she said. Mr. Slacker was shocked. Surely not, she said. Getting up to work the TV seemed like a terrible waste of time. I know. Let's try this, Mr. Slacker cried. I'm a very good shot. Maybe I can hit the TV button. But that didn't work. And Quentin's fishing rod didn't work either. So they thought that it was a waste of time to push the button.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we tried everything, said Mr. Slacker. Get some popcorn and the following chairs. Let's go to the mall.
What does that say? Before chairs?
Folding.
Very good.
And the folding chairs. Let's go to the mall. I still wonder where the remote is, Mr. Slacker said. Don't worry, dear Mr. Slacker replied.
Nice self-correction.
I'm sure that someone in the family will find it. Indeed, he did.
So who had the remote all along?
The dog.
What's the name of the dog? Slugger. Okay. So, what did you think of the story?
I liked it.
Yeah? What was their big crisis?
They lost the TV remote control.
Okay, so now I want you to think about, we've read 3 stories already, and I want you to tell me which of the 3 stories you want to do a graphic graphic organizer. You're going to tell me what are the components to a story. Which are the components to a story. So,
I'm not sure what I read.
The graphic organizer shows all the parts to a story. What's the first part?
I would like to do the crisis.
The crisis, okay. So we're going to do title first. That's going to be the first thing. Okay. What's the next thing?
Huh?
What else? So we talk about the title. What else is part of a story besides the title?
Detail 1, 2, and 3.
Before we get to the details.
Oh, the introduction.
Not the introduction.
The sentence that tells you what you're going to talk about.
But for this story map, we're not using it to write. We're not writing a paragraph with it. All we're doing is kind of putting our thoughts about what we just read. We gotta pretend this is your notebook. So if I want to remember the story, what do I need to write on the board to help me remember the story that I just read? So of course I'm gonna have the title. What else? Can I just have a title?
No.
Okay. So what else do I need?
Information.
What kind of information?
Characters.
Characters. Nice. Then what after the characters? So now I have my characters. What else?
Setting.
Yes, nice job. What is the setting?
Like where the story took place.
Good work. All right. What's after the setting?
Problem.
The problem. Or in this case, the what?
The crisis.
The crisis. Okay. Then after the problem, what are you gonna write? The events. What are events?
Like the things that happen.
Okay. And it could be the things that happened leading up to the crisis, and then what did they do, and then what's the last thing?
Solution.
The solution. And what is solution?
Huh?
What does solution mean?
It's something that helps your problem.
Okay, good. So now what I want you to do is go through each of these parts and identify what they are.
Oh, I know that.
Okay? Yep, you're gonna write them. I'm not writing them.
Yes.
And then when you're done, I'm gonna take a picture of your graphic organizer. This is a different way to do a graphic organizer, but remember that I actually gave numbers to each one, and that would be the order that you would have them in when you write them on your own. Okay? So the title of the book, go back and look at the title of the book. So the title of the book is The Slackers Front to Back, but the it would be that's the chapter of the book, or the title of the book, and the chapter you read is a crisis. Or
Okay, so you want the title?
the title is The Slackers Front to Back, and then you're gonna put the crisis. And the S in the S has a capital S. Because in a title, every word except, wow, that's a lot bigger than a T. That's okay. The Slackers Front to Back. Front to back. And then I'm going to do something different here because this is a section of the book. I'm going to put colon. What's the title of the section that we read? The crisis. Write it down.
The characters are how do you spell Mr.?
Mr. Nope, that's Mrs. Mr.'s MR period.
Oh. Setting is house slash
Where else?
mall.
The mall because it went to the store. Good. Okay, what was the problem?
The TV remote control was lost.
Okay. Okay, what were the events?
One is
Give me the first event.
they were looking for it.
Well, before they started looking for it, what happened to it?
What do you mean?
What was the first thing that happened to it before they started to look for it? What happened?
They wanted to watch TV and they figured out it was lost.
There you go. That's the first event. What's the second event?
That they were looking for it.
Mm-hmm. And then.
And then they were trying to hit the button from the
TV.
TV.
Uh-huh.
Trying to
Hit the button from the TV.
hit.
And what's the it that they were looking for?
Huh?
What's the it? You said they were looking for it. What is it? What is
Control.
it? Huh?
For the control.
For the control. Okay. What else? So they're trying to hit the button with what? Different things, right?
Mhm.
And the button spelled Button. You kind of have the first part of it right. Okay. And then
Wait, from the TV. Just hit the button from where it's off
from
the TV.
very good.
With
Nice. Okay. And what was their solution?
it went to the mall.
They went to the mall and watched TV from there. And then what happened at the very end?
Oh, the dog.
And all this time, you could put all this time the dog had what? Do you think that
He did it on purpose, yeah.
maybe? Why do you think that the dog kept the TV, the remote on purpose?
Because he wanted them, he knew how unnormal they were. And he wanted him to go to the mall so that he can keep it to himself.
Wow. Nice. All right. Good work.
Can you
All right.
take the policeman maple syrup?
Can I what?